Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start a little early, and as soon as I get on, it goes to 0. So I'm gonna be on here till 4:15, and if nobody asks me a question, then I'm going to be off. Start a little early. Boy. Good times. Let the good times roll. Questions, questions, questions. My wife's not here, so it's just me running the whole thing myself, which is fine. Not like we're real busy. Two people now. You just told me I went live. Questions, questions. Awesome, Chris. It's only probably going to be just me and you, and that's it. I'm only going to be on here till about 4:15 because I don't think I want to have anybody have any math questions today. I have very few students doing work. The only ones doing work are the ones that would do work anyway. It doesn't matter. Now they need a whole lot of help, Chris. You have no idea. It takes me an entire year to get them almost up to speed because they're so far behind by the time they get to my class. They don't need to have any time actually off like this. Man. Yesterday there was no questions whatsoever. None. Next week might be a little better because the work I gave my algebra 2 is a tad bit harder. Harder than college algebra. Yeah. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep doing the stream because if nobody's coming in here asking me questions, no point in killing my, just wasting time. I could be doing something more productive like playing Zelda. Taking away from my video game playing time. Hey, what's up, Jet? What? I can't even say it. Um. Nah, Chris, they can ask me. That's kind of where I'm at right now. If they need help, they know where they can get help. And towards the end of the week, it's always slow anyway, because the kids that needed help that's doing their work has already been there. And what's really great, Chris, as far as I'm referencing, I actually make videos for them. I don't know if you looked at the rest of my channel, but the videos actually show them how to work an example that's in their packet. I'm only here to answer questions specific to that student. But yeah, I actually have a video where they can actually go watch what they're supposed to be doing in the packet. So I do way too much for my kids. What's sad is it's not even just because of COVID-19. I've been doing this all year. Yeah, if you look at a lot of my videos, you'll actually see how I went from just a camcorder and a dry erase board to an app called Viddle to this learning glass. You kind of see my progression through how I've been doing videos. Been doing it since 2015. So when this COVID-19 hit, Coda is asleep out in the living room. He's been grumpier than usual today. I take him outside. He just wants to stay outside, lay in the sun. Oh, man. So do you have any questions for me there, YT? Uh, that might be something I might consider, but for a large part, it's supposed to be for the high school kids here in this area. Um, I'll put a poll out in for like my students and see if they want to do it earlier because I know it's what 2 o'clock where you're at. Um, are you taking online classes at CTC or something? I might not be doing a stream tomorrow because my mother-in-law just bought a house and I have to go help my wife paint the whole house. So yeah, YT. When I started this, I was doing two a day, one at 1 and one at 5. Um, I may just go back to the one at 1 o'clock. That would be 4 hours earlier. I might just go back to the 1 o'clock time. And I'll put a poll out for my students, but for a large part, if my students aren't using this, or if other students here aren't using this, I'll probably just go to 1 o'clock so you can ask a few questions, get in and out. I commented and said you can actually email me questions on the email address on the bottom on the scroll here, and I can actually work those out and just make a video and post it that you can watch me explaining it. Or just start out my stream with it so you don't have to stay up all night waiting for this. YT, you just come here to hang out with us, or what's the deal? Because if you're staying up that late, it's like you have questions for math, or you're just bored at home and have nothing to do. Man, they need to open the pool halls again. Something to do. This is unbearable. No, I want to finish solving this. I'm just going to work a problem. Just because I'm on here. It's a fun little problem. Kind of gives you an idea what I ask my kids in geometry to be able to do. Because my geometry is not like any geometry that most people have seen. Just fairly OCD on leaving a Rubik's Cube unsolved. All right. That is a benefit of having a pool table, Chris. I 100% agree with you on that one. I am jealous on that for sure. All right. So here is a problem I ask my students to solve. My geometry students. I give them a circle. And then from here, from the center of the circle, I draw a triangle that is got a tangent line, and this is 90 degrees. I tell them this is 24. I tell them this is the radius of the circle, this is the radius of the circle, and this is 18. And I ask them how to find the radius of the circle. Anybody got any ideas out there? All three watchers? Any idea? Well, let me show you how to solve it. All we simply do is we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And in this case, my hypotenuse is 18 plus r. So I'm going to have 24 squared plus r squared, these, equals 18 plus r squared. That's it. And then we solve for square. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, technically, Chris, you're wrong because you use capital A, capital B, capital C, and those actually denote points or angles. It should be lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c, because that denotes a side that's opposite of the angle. So this would be capital A for angle A, and this would be side A, lowercase a. So don't use capital letters in this. It's actually wrong. But yeah, from here it's just whatever 24 squared is. 576 plus r squared equals 'All right, Tori, I'll get to you in a second. Well, I'll do YT first, and I'll do Tori. Let me finish this one since I started it. 18 squared, 324 plus, that's going to be 36r plus r squared. Hey, my r squareds cancel. Subtract 324 from both sides. So we have 576 minus 324. This gives me 252 equals 36r. Divide by 36. And my r is 7. Easy peasy. 40 and 41 of week 5, please. Tori, you talking option 1 or option 2? Because I gave y'all 2 options to do on that. So I'll wait for you to respond, and I'll start working on YT's problem because I can't say the first part of his. All right, YT, we've got 2x squared minus 32 times 23 square root of 49x squared. Is this the problem? Plus 5x squared. Option 1. All right, Tori, I'll get to you in a second. YT, is this did I write the question down correctly? I forget which one of these is option 1. I think 4-3 is option 1. Tori, does the top of the page say 4-3? All right, perfect. All right, so first thing I see is this square root. I can get rid of the square root. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of x squared is just x. So this leaves me 2x squared minus 32 times 23 times 7x plus 5x squared. All right, well, the 5x and 2x, we can combine them because they are like terms. We cannot combine this because this doesn't have an x squared. So we just add the coefficients, which is 5 plus 2, which gives me 7x squared. And now we just need to multiply this out. Negative 32, so negative 32 times 23 times 7. So that is negative 32 times 23 times 7, which is negative 5,152x. Now, if they want to factor this, there is a GCF of 7, because a 7 and a 7, so I could actually factor that out, a 7 and an x. I could actually factor that out. I don't know if y'all are doing factoring, but we can do 7x, because that's the greatest common factor between these, and that's going to leave me an x minus 52 divided by 7, 736. So I don't know exactly what they want. If they just want you to add and subtract these polynomials, this is your answer. But if this was set equal to 0, like you had to solve it, you would want to do this to get it set equal to 0. All right, Tori. Hey, did you read the thing that I told you to only do the even problems? I'll do 41, but I did say just do the even problems. I bet you're mad at yourself right now if you didn't read that and you worked every single problem. Okay, number 40. Number 40, good old word problem. Not really. The fun one, A? Not terribly bad. Let's see, you are making a square frame of uniform width for a square picture that has a side length of 2 feet. A total area of the frame is 5 square feet. What is the length of the sides of the frame? Okay, so we give you a diagram. So we have the diagram like so. And it says that this is 2 feet. I'm not going to write the other part here because it's a square. They're all the same. And this is x feet. Read the instructions first, Tori. You did every single... That's a lot of work. It is already a lot of work just to do the evens, but wow. I'll tell you what, I'll cut you a break. I won't make you do 41, because that's an odd number. And then we're told that the area... Let's see. The total area of the frame is 5 square feet. All right, so we know this big area is 5 square feet. So we know the area is 5 square feet. It tells us to find x. So this whole thing right here is 5 square feet. Can't be. The total area of the frame... Okay. So this part is 5 square feet. This inside part right here is 4 square feet, because this inside part is 2 times 2, which is 4 feet squared. that gives me this entire area of this square as 9 square feet by just adding this outside part and this inside part. Now, I know that x, to get the area of this entire big square, is going to be x squared, or side squared, or length times width, or however you want to look at it, but it's side squared, which is x squared, equals 9 feet squared. From here, this is just a very simple algebra 1 problem. We take the square root of both sides, we put our plus or minus. So x equals plus or minus the square root of 9 feet squared. Well, that means x is just going to be plus or minus 3 feet. Now from here, you have to ask yourself, is it the positive or the negative? Well, because this is an actual length, and length can never be negative. Negative is just nothing more than a direction. So my actual answer is, it is 3 feet long, and on the inside it's 2 feet. So this little itty bitty part right here, that's 6 inches. So yeah, there you go. I'll cut you a break. Yeah, they were pretty easy. Wait till you see next week's story. They'll be so they're fun. Nowhere near as many problems. I only gave you 10 problems. All right, what other questions? Questions. What was 41? I am old. I have to pull my glasses up. All right, the dimensions of an old stage of a concert hall were 30 feet wide by 15 feet deep. The new stage has a total area of 1,000 square feet. The dimensions of the new stage were created by adding the same distance x to the length and the width of the old stage dimensions. What is the value of x? That's not terribly bad. Since y'all ain't asking questions, I guess I'll work 41. So we're going to have a trapezoid. Has to be a trapezoid. So here we have a stage, which is 30 feet. Here's the back of the stage, which is 15 feet. And then the stage does something like this. So this is a trapezoid. Oh, I wrote it too high. I have to think of what the area of a trapezoid was. I think it's just one half base 1, base 2. I have to look that up. I think it's 1/2 base 1, base 2. So here's our trapezoid, our stage, right? This is 30 feet. This is 15 feet. I think the area is 1/2 b sub 1 plus b sub 2. No, that's mid-segment. Give me a second. Let me look up the area of a trapezoid. I don't remember that off the top of my head. Should, because I teach geometry, but we haven't taught that section yet. So I'm rusty at it. Yeah, okay, so it's close. That times its height. Okay. So we're in the United States. What country are you in? 1/2 b sub 1 b sub 2 plus the height. What all did the problem give me? Oh, it tells me it's 15 feet. The dimensions of the old stage of the concert were 15 wide. And oh, I drew this wrong. Not a trapezoid. I'm making this problem too hard. It's a rectangle. It's a rectangle. I at least had my hopes up it'd be a little harder, but I read it wrong. So this side is 15. This side is 30. Here's my stage. It's just a rectangle. And it says the new stage is going to be 1,000 square feet. So I know my feet's going to be 1,000 square feet. And they're going to add an X here and an X here. So to actually solve this, we're going to do 15 plus X times 30 plus X equals 1,000 feet squared. These are both feet, so this will end up being feet squared, so the units work out. So 15 times 30 should be 450. Should be. Not trusting myself anymore. Yeah, it's 450. 450 plus 45x plus x squared equals 1,000. Subtract the 1,000 from both sides. That should give me x squared plus 45x minus 550 equals 0. From there, we just simply factor. You're in Lebanon? How was the school systems over there in Lebanon? So here we factor the negative 550. Should be 10 and 45. 10 and 55. And it'll be the negative 10. Because that'll give me my negative 550 and my positive 45. So this is going to factor to x minus 10, x plus 55 equals 0. Zero product property. That gives me x equals 10 and negative 55. Clearly, I'm not going to be adding a negative 55 distance to a stage, so I'm actually adding 10 feet on both sides of the stage. And that's how you would actually work 41, even though you don't have to do it, Tori. In Lebanon. One of my high school teachers is from that area. I still actually work with her. She's not from Lebanon, but she's from that region. She was my biology teacher in 1989, and she still works at the exact same high school where I work at. She's been there for over 30 years. She's a great lady. Also good friends with the guy from that region. He is the engineering major. Yeah, seriously. He is the engineering instructor at Central Texas College. He has 3 master's degrees from that area. Great people. Great people. But yeah, I can't imagine. The lady that I had biology with, Miss Beatty, she's been at the same job for over 30 years in the same building. Well, not even the same building, because they switched buildings. So yeah, it was crazy. I had her as a freshman in high school, and then I was her aide as a senior, and now I talk to her all the time whenever I need help, like with a class, like I don't know what to do with somebody with discipline or anything like that. Not so much content, but just the whole idea, because she's very respected in the neighborhood. That's life goals right there. Have the same job for 30 plus years. Life goals. What other questions? So YT, you just kind of get on here to kill time? Yeah, my friend that's a professor out at the local junior college that does all the engineering classes there. He changed his name because nobody could pronounce his actual name. He changed it to Sam Jackson. I laugh at him all the time. I'm like, dude, that's like really American. Sam Jackson. I don't understand XD. I don't get it. What is XD? I'm assuming you're a student because you're asking me questions, or are you a teacher? Or are you just a fan of math? Actually, here's a real question. Are y'all self-quarantined as well because of COVID-19? You're a student? Gotcha. What math class are you taking? Is it like a algebra 2 class? Is it like a calculus class, pre-calculus class? Absolutely not a fan of math. How can you not be a fan of math? Math is great. Y'all are quarantined too. Man, our governor here in Texas just talked about trying to open everything back up and letting people start to go back to work. I don't know how that's going to work, but we only have about 4.5 weeks of school actually left. We don't even know if we're going to go back this year. Hey, so I'm not going to do a stream tomorrow, simply because I have to paint my mother-in-law's new house that she bought. So me and my wife are going to be over there all day painting. But if you have any questions, YT, you have that email buzzing about math. Send me an email and I can answer it and get it right back to you. Try to get it back to you within a timely manner if you have a question. Our government is in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I understand the need why people want to open the economy back up because people have got to work, earn money to be able to get food and that. Our government's issuing out checks to its citizens to try to help alleviate some of that, but it doesn't cover everything. So I don't know. I mean, people are starting to get stressed out. I'm sure of it. I mean, I'm not. I'm okay. But like my wife is cut down to only 8 hours a week of work. Um, but luckily hers was just she just works just so she has extra spending money. We don't need her paycheck, thank goodness. And then I work normal, so normal-ish, I guess you call that. No, Zoom. We can do conferences as teachers on Zoom, but I could probably go with you on Zoom simply because you're not a student of mine. But our school district doesn't want us to use Zoom. We have to use a different thing if we actually want to teach online to video conference in. It's through a school through a school approved thing. But if you wanted to actually do something on Zoom, we can kind of do something like that if you have like legitimate questions. 'Cause I'd use this exact same setup that I'm doing right here, except just go on Zoom. Are y'all using Zoom over there? All right, so if y'all ain't got questions, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to post a question or that, or I'm gonna shut down the stream. I'm gonna go play Zelda. Give me something to do to pass the time till my wife gets off of work. Yeah, I can never get team to work. I'm sure there are people that live and die by team, but I can't get team to work either. I can get Zoom to work. We use a thing. I can use work in our learning management system that the school has, which has this thing called a Big Blue Button, which is a conference. Oddly enough, if I can get YouTube to stream live using using a different piece of software, embedding the chat on the screen over here, having a scroll on the bottom. I mean, I'm not exactly tech ignorant, but I have issues with Microsoft Teams sometimes. I have a hard time getting on it. Oh, man. Wow, Minecraft. I see my students play that all the time. I'm just like, why? Just making boxes. I guess it's the same thing about me playing Zelda, because right now I'm at the beginning phases and I'm just wandering around killing things. Not much of a difference, but at least gives me something to do besides just watching TV. That rots your brain out. This way, at least I'm trying to problem solve. Besides, it's always fun going to the high ground using a bomb arrow and then blowing up like 8 different people at one time. A little violent there, but that's the world of Zelda. Good old Link. I've played every Zelda game that has come out. I've actually went to buy just new platforms just to play the new Zelda on that platform. That's how old I am. Alright. Well, I'm going to shut the stream down. I'm going to go play Breath of Wind. Zelda Breath of Wind. I won't do a stream tomorrow. Simply because I'm going to be painting a house, and that's just so much fun. But at least we're going to have a spray gun, and I have to do it by hand, which will make life a whole lot easier. Yeah, take care, Chris. I'll see you later. Hopefully, when we're done quarantine, maybe me and you can catch up into a pool hall and play some a little bit. You should definitely be beating the heck out of me, though, because I haven't played in probably 2 months before this quarantine, so it could be a smooth 4 or 5 months before I play. Alright, guys. I am going to end the stream. I will see you on Monday at 5 o'clock. Peace out.